Good afternoon, Major League Football fans. I'm Commissioner Adam McLean of Major League Football. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Building It. Yes, we took a long hiatus just to get everything back in sync. We had a lot to do. We've got a lot to fill you in and bring you guys up to date with. But got a lot of things to go with. We got a ton of emails, so be patient with me as I go through them. I'm going to be reading them for the first time. Because we have so many, but we'll try to get to all of them if possible. So guys, let me kind of bring you up to date, okay? So like I said, we took a hiatus from Building It. There was a lot we had to do. So now we are back on track. We are kicking off next fall in 24 of our 24 markets. Again, non-NFL markets. No preseason, kicking off next fall on Sundays. Now, we originally, so we're going to be, it's a long story, but I'll keep it brief. We were going to sell shares for 3 of our teams. Now, what we have decided to do after we've done a lot of consulting, a lot of meetings, is basically we are going to put 5 of our markets, our teams, up for sale to sell shares. So basically, the way it works is we're going to go on. So we learned this through the Oakland Roots soccer team. They're raising $1 million on their 3rd round. So it's a crowdfunding app. I think it's the #1 largest crowdfunding app, and the most you can raise is $5 million. The least expensive share is $100 per share. So we're selling 50,000 shares per each of our 5 teams. Now the teams we're going to be selling, okay guys, so listen up for this. We're going to be selling 50,000 shares so you can actually be an owner of a professional football team. Alabama, St. Louis, San Antonio, Oakland, and Arkansas. Now, the reason we went with those 5 is we have 5 good stadiums for all those markets. So we're currently working with the Dome, where the Rams used to play back in the day in St. Louis. We're working with the Oakland Coliseum now that the Oakland A's were approved to go down to Vegas. They were approved by all Major League Baseball owners to move down to Vegas. So they're leaving down to Vegas. The Raiders have already left. That's why we're going into Oakland. So that's a good stadium. Also, the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, we're working with them. Also in Arkansas, War Memorial Stadium. So we're going to be playing there. And then also Alabama, Legion's Field in Birmingham, Alabama. So they're all large stadiums. Now follow me on this. The reason why we're going with these 5, because these other markets, the other 19 that we have, I mean, we got good stadiums, guys. We're very grateful for every stadium, but some of them are really small. And if we sell shares into those markets, it will not be a good decision long term, because we do need these guys and gals that are, that have a high net worth of hundreds of millions or billions of dollars to be able to build a stadium in that franchise if we don't not currently have a sufficient stadium, meaning, when I say sufficient, meaning seating capacity. So we are, we're working on that. We have to file each with the Security Exchange Committee to be able to sell shares. So we're in the process of doing that. And then Thursday, we are shooting a promo video. So when you go on WeFunder to buy shares, you'll search like Major League Football, Alabama, or whichever one of the 5 you want to buy shares for. You can buy shares for all 5 if you want. But you'll go there, you'll see our promo video. We got a really good videographer that's going to be shooting that for us, and then it gives us the breakdown. It gives the kind of more information about becoming a shareholder for a Major League Football franchise. And guys, like I mentioned before, unlike the Green Bay Packers, they can't sell their shares and they don't receive dividends. Buying shares for Major League Football, you're going to be able to sell your shares in the future when the value increases, as well as receive dividends as the value of each share goes up. So, I don't want anyone to just buy shares for bragging rights when they have theoretically no value. So I don't believe in that. Now, I'm going to shift focus to something else. We get and we're gonna go to this call. I just had a call with a gentleman that's interested in the in becoming. Bear with me one second. I want to make sure that I had his last name spelled correctly. But so I spoke to a gentleman, Trey Randall, that's reached out to us about becoming a general manager for our Connecticut franchise. I believe Trey was under the impression we already had a GM in New York, but regardless, and after talks, good guy. He's been, you're going to hear from him shortly. He's been around the professional circuit in Canadian football, the USFL, the Spring League, which I don't know a whole lot about. I know it's a defunct league, but guys, this is so important, not just in the professional football arena, but in business. I've interviewed so many people over my 30 plus years in business, and what I've noticed is a lot of people, they basically spend about 2 years somewhere and then they move on. And I get it. They get bored wherever they're going, and if you're not happy, move on. But a lot of these people, what I've learned is, like Trey, for example. Trey's wanted to be a GM, but then after talking, he wants to be part of our executive team and be kind of like the right-hand man or woman. No, I mean, not him being a woman, but a right hand, the number 2 guy. Well, I learned with another gentleman, super nice guy, but to be like the number, like on the executive team of Major League Football, it's not a job, it's not a career, it's a lifestyle. I mean, we're working, our executive team is working from the time we wake up till we go to bed. So what I've learned is that these people who want to be like in a higher position on the executive team, two things, they really don't understand, some do, but the demands of the position. And number 2, what I've learned is I'm no longer going to offer positions to someone that I haven't worked with, because I don't know their work ethic. I don't know their integrity. I don't know their level of commitment. So think that through, all of you guys out there, not just in football, but in business in general, that before you make opportunity or provide advancements in your job, in your career, in your company, work with these people first. Because, man, like I said, I've seen so many resumes come across my desk. I've interviewed so many people. And at the end of the day, you really don't know what you got until after you've interviewed them. So take that for what it's worth. Not after you interview them, but after you've actually worked with them. Being a VP of operations, Tyler currently has that interim position, but Tyler's out in Utah, and I really want someone that's here in Tampa with us that's going to basically work beside me all day, every day. Like I said, I work on this league from the time I wake up till I go to bed. It's a huge, huge undertaking, and we have to kick off without fail next fall. So I'm going to go to the question and answers. Again, guys, be patient with me because I'm just reading these for the first time. I wanted to try it that way. I think it would be kind of a little bit more interesting for you guys. And then we're going to go to Trey after the question and answers. And again, guys, on this week's episode, I want to tell you it's brought to you by SilverEagleOnline.com. Check them out. Great apparel company. Cove Communities. If you're looking to move into a beautiful 55 plus community, check out Cove Communities. They got beautiful homes nationwide. And then Keto's Brewing in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is where it's going to be one of the 24 breweries where we're going to be holding our podcast. And that brings me one other thing, guys. We are launching a sports tabloid paper in each of our 24 markets. We're going to put 20,000 copies in each market, and we're going to drop it off to 1,000 locations in each of our 24 franchises. So the paper. So this here, to give you an idea, this here is a paper that we ordered from the USA Today Sports Weekly. So it'll be about this size, maybe a little bit longer. So, like, for example, the Arkansas, the name of the team, Gazette. It'll be that for each market will have their team name, and it'll cover, we're going to be using it to promote ticket sales. For the 5 markets we're selling shares, we're going to be using that papers in those 5 markets to promote the sale of the shares. We're going to be using it to promote our corporate partners. We're also going to be using it to promote the weekly podcasts in each of our 24 franchise markets in the local breweries that you guys can go. And also, you guys, again, I would love to have you guys on the show on Building It. So please, for a lot of you who are sending out emails to us, which we greatly appreciate, we would love to have you on the show, talk about Major League Football, answer any questions you have. And yay, don't be timid. Come on, just jump in. So we're going to have each week, we're going to have some coaches for Major League Football. We're going to have some potential players, you guys, the fans. We're going to talk to our corporate partners and give them a chance to talk about and promote their businesses. Because, guys, without these partners, we can't make all this happen. So let me get to the question and answer. This, again, guys, be patient with me because we got a lot of them. So I'm going to try to get through them as quickly as I can, but also give them the fair time and respect they each deserve. This is from Freddie DaCosta. Freddie's saying, hello, I'm a professional soccer player in Venezuela. I want to play Major League Football. Freddie, make sure, and all these ones, guys, that are players wanting to play, I'm going to skip over them because all you players that want to play for Major League Football next fall, the tryout's going to be in June. Stay tuned on our website, okay? We are creating another much more innovative, much nicer website we're currently working on. But for now, go to MajorLeagueFootball.pro, click tryouts, and it will keep you up to date with the times and the exact locations as we move closer to the tryouts, okay? So again, if we get these emails from these people wanting to play, I'm just going to skip over them because we've discussed that. Okay, so this here, and then guys, some of these emails are kind of tough to read, so bear with me. Hey, I'm Tristan Myers. I currently play semi-pro football in North Carolina. I plan on trying out for your league next summer. Thanks for your videos. It confirmed your league is legit. Well, Tristan, that's really nice, And Tristan, jump on the show. Send us an email. We'd love to have you on Building It and talk about your semi-pro days up in North Carolina, where it was. And that's something else, guys. The weekly podcasts we're going to have in each of our franchises and the sports tabloid, we're going to be talking about all sports in that market, not just Major League Football. So make sure you go to each week you go to to see the podcast being shot, be a guest on it. It's going to be the local brewery. It's going to be very cool. Okay, so this is going to be kind of challenging, I think. Okay, and some of these guys, this will just kind of show you that some of these emails are pretty challenging, and that's why we read them first. But last email, I don't want to start any trouble with the NFL. One idea is maybe to get the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund to invest a major stake in Major League Football. The Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund is always looking to invest in alternative sports leagues like the live golf tournament circuit. In terms of high net worth individuals, Elon Musk could buy the NFL, most of it, not to mention financing a new stadium. You're right about cities, counties, about city financing stadiums are coming to an end. And I'm glad, hey, Chad, Ben, I'm glad you actually watch Building It. Because, guys, it's really just sharing with you what we're learning as well. I mean, this is a new experience for us as well. So, we're learning as we're going, and we're sharing that with you. We're trying to share everything we can with you on Building It. So basically, you're right about the city and counties not financing stadiums are coming to an end. One major criticism is that you have billionaire sports owners in terms of these NFL teams are tripling in value, signing multi-billion-dollar TV cable, YouTube, NFL Sunday ticket contracts, and then extorting money, billions from hard-pressed cities, counties that have so many social justice safety net needs unmet, basically to accommodate the 2%, the only ones that can go to these luxury NFL sports stadiums, NBA luxury palaces, etc., by threatening to move even through their a few cities left. There are NFL cities to move. One criticism is in my state, where there are New York financing a new luxury stadium for one of the richest sports owners in the country, the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Sabres, especially with the huge debt New York State has, dilapidated housing in terms of the New York City Housing Authority, the former Republican former Army officer running for governor in New York City, criticized greatly the Democratic government for that policy. Okay, so I do want to touch on a couple things, guys. And again, I appreciate you being patient while I get through this. But Chad, that was a really good email. I mean, you got a lot of thoughts going into that email, I'll tell you that much. That's why I'd love to have you on the show and just talk about, what you mentioned. See, one thing with Major League Football, no franchise, once we launch like these 24, they can never leave that market. So when we go into Sacramento, we are in Sacramento for life. So even when an owner buys it, and then let's say sell off to a new buyer, they can never move it from Sacramento. So none of our franchises can ever move to another location. Now, I do want to comment on that. Our markets like Alabama, if we kick off in Birmingham and we just find that Birmingham isn't the best place for us to play, because we're representing the state of Alabama, but we want to stay in Birmingham and we got to build it. We heard Huntsville, Alabama is a good place, but we're starting out in Birmingham. So that is different versus a city. But we do want to stay, even in the States, we want to stay where we start out in that city. And going back to what Chad said, these city and counties, we looked into it. There's not as much economic development or upgrowth as you might think by having a professional football stadium built. So it's a ton of money for the taxpayers to build these stadiums. And like Chad said, with these multi-billionaires that essentially just have so much money. So Chad, I agree 100% with you on that. So thanks for the email. Okay, we're going to move on to the team that's being developed in Norfolk, Virginia. Is that co-ed or male only? This is from Nye Jenkins. And good afternoon, Nye. And let me say this to you. We don't care if you're male or female. If you got the talent to play Major League Football, that's fantastic. We don't discriminate in Major League Football. We don't care if you're, again, we welcome all genders. It's all about talent. We recommend, we don't care if you're black, white, purple, orange, yellow, green. I mean, we are about all races. That's one thing that you're going to learn about me. I do not like that word race. I don't like to segregate. I like us to all be in this great, beautiful country together. Moving on. Good afternoon. Best wishes to whomever receives this. Well, Marco, I would like to inquire for a full-time position with the league and or organization. I have a bachelor's of science in sports management and am currently enrolled in a master's program. I wish to further expand my intuition by allowing me to get first-hand experience within the industry. If there are any questions, please feel free to send them forward to my email provided above. Marco, great email. Please forward your resume to team@majorleaguefootball.pro. That would be fantastic. So, and anyone that's looking to be an intern, a volunteer, work with the league, guys, please email team@majorleaguefootball.pro, okay? So this one here is also, Chad sent another one because I saw he said one final email, but this is his initial email. One final email, what is Taylor Swift? So some of the sports talk shows have mentioned that. I love Taylor Swift. Last year she was getting more attention than any of the NFL. Kansas City Chiefs, she brought the NFL to a new level, made it more popular than it already is. Chad, what I think about Taylor Swift, I mean, guys, don't chastise me for this, but I don't really follow Taylor Swift as far as her music. So I don't really know a lot about her other than she's extremely popular. I know that. I think what would be, when they go to these games and they show all these celebrities in the stands like they've been showing recently, like with the World Series lately, it's just to get viewership and celebrities bring eyes, so Taylor Swift being a huge celebrity, NFL is doing whatever they can to capitalize on that, and you can't really knock them for it. So But that's why, we're going to have halftime entertainment music-wise at all of our games. It's going to make it more exciting to attend the games. We're going to have great talent on the field. And as I said, our teams will be just as good, if not better, than any other professional football team, and I do mean including the NFL. This is from Travis. Hello, hope this message finds you well. A message to find out if you're hiring any positions as sales reps. I have 15 years of sales experience. Would love to get involved with this new league in some fashion. Travis, we'd love to talk to you. Email team@majorleaguefootball.pro. And guys, hopefully you guys are watching Building It. And so that when I'm getting these emails, you can kind of, also learn what the process, the correct approach or process is as far as working with us in the league. We'd love to have you, man. We'd love to talk to you. If you got talent, man, we definitely want you involved. Came across this list from Christian Grizzle. Came across this league. I want to know if you guys are having tryouts and how to be able to attend. Again, guys, go to majorleaguefootball.pro, click tryouts. Is there an age limit and when is tryouts for Arkansas? Tyrell Harrison, you do have to be at least 18 years of age. You got to be an adult, and the tryouts for all 24 franchises are in June. Career opportunities with the organization and or New York affiliate. I'm passionate about football and sports as a whole, and I'm willing to work entry-level position. That's from John Conlon. John, thanks for the email. Email your resume to team@majorleaguefootball.pro. And John, also indicate exactly what position you're looking for, okay? So this here is I'm getting a ton about jobs. So again, guys, all of you that want to work in the league, please email. This is from Caden Malone, interested in being either a general manager or a coaching role. Send your email to team@majorleaguefootball.pro. I'm reaching out to submit you nicknames of the spirits for your future Savannah franchise. Now, Joe, thanks for the email, first of all, and it's the Georgia franchise, okay? And we are playing in Savannah, but it's representing the state of Georgia. The nickname Spirits pays homage to both the label of being the most haunted city in the U.S. Actually, Joe, that is a good name for the if we were the Savannah team. And also the relaxed drinking laws that have helped to make Savannah a destination for bachelor and bachelorette parties. Best of luck with the league. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Savannah, they have all these ghost tours. It's a really cool town. And Joe, that is a great name, but we are playing there, but representing Georgia. So this one here, I have spoken to this gentleman. This is Avery Robbins. Avery, good guy. He was a director for corporate sponsorships for the Chicago Bears, as well as for 4 years, as well as the Minnesota Vikings for 4, and is interested in coming on board as a GM for our Nebraska franchise. Have not talked to Avery a lot lately, so don't know where we stand, where Avery stands with the league as far as that position as the GM of Nebraska. I'm interested in a coaching position. Carlos, team@majorleaguefootball.pro. And Carlos, this is a good time because right now we are starting it. We want to get all of our coaches hired in the next 2 months, so make sure you get your resume to us. This is another one from Carlos. I was inquired about future coaching positions. I sent you the wrong email. Interested in a GM position and or television production, broadcast operations, senior management position from Tyrone Stilth. Tyrone, thanks for the email. So that one, Tyrone, again, team@majorleaguefootball.pro. I'm asking about how to get connected with someone in reference to getting involved in the Norfolk, Virginia franchise in particular. Are they still seeking a GM candidates? And if so, are there any specific qualifications? Additionally, what other potential opportunities are there within the franchise? Thank you for entertaining my questions and for this league. Keontae Washington, love to talk to you. Please send your resume to team@majorleaguefootball.pro and get that to us. And again, guys, as far as his, he was asking about what qualifications. Guys, you got to be willing. like what I've been through. I mean, I came up with this idea to launch Major League Football years ago, okay? And we've had some adversity. We've had some struggles. We've had some highs. We've had some lows. You know, so, you know, you got to be persistent, determined, hungry, and you just cannot give up. It's just like in the game of football. You know, you're down by 3 touchdowns. You don't give up. You fight like you've never fought. So we're looking for fighters. We're looking for people who are willing to really give it their all. Unfortunately, regardless of what position as far as that you would have with Major League Football, we expect you to work all the time, because especially we got, what, 9 months or 10 months left before kickoff. It takes an incredible amount of dedication and drive and determination. So that's really what we're looking for, and a great attitude. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes. You got to have a great attitude. You got to just be able to, again, just do whatever it takes. So just know that. Have a good attitude. And that's kind of like, you know, one thing that's kind of like a little concerning, like some of these guys, like, you know, Trey's a good guy, and a couple others that want the GM and then they immediately want a higher position. I just don't understand it. I know that but being on the executive team is not as, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's like, it's working from the time you wake up until you go to bed, like I said. So I'm not quite sure why they want to go immediately up to that position. But again, like I said earlier, you definitely want to work with someone for a while and just kind of learn their work pattern, their you know, their ethics, their, you know, how you get along with them. You got to get along great with people you work with. I know all of you guys have worked with someone that is not so easy to work with, and it makes life challenging, especially your job. Okay, so I am the president of a youth football and cheer league in Washington State. We are looking for donations for silent auctions or raffle items. It would be great if we could get some swag from some of your teams. It would bring attention to your league. Gerald Fillion, Gerald, count us in, man. Anything we can do for you, please let us know. We're working on a lot of things right now as far as towards our apparel for our teams, all of our names. And guys, I'm just going to read a couple more. This one's got another name. Please, for the love of God, do not name the Utah's team the Pioneers. There are so many better names than that. Mammoth, Venom, Yeti, Hive, Swarm, anything but the Pioneers. Ryan, I love your passion. So that was for Ryan Campbell. Okay. This one here, got a couple more guys. South Dakota name suggestions. I'm not going to read those. Those are from Rich Murphy. Just because some of these team names may be what we're going with. Okay, so this is a good one from Sean Murphy. What will the Major League Football do to differentiate itself from the NFL, CFL, college football, indoor football? How will you stand out from the pack and give us fans something new to cheer for? So Sean, this is the question of the day. We are not trying to create this niche or this clever, like, what's the word I'm looking for? This, like what XFL did years ago, this gimmick. That's the word I'm looking for, gimmick. We are authentic, traditional American football. And we're not trying to set ourselves apart. We're filling the void into markets that don't have a team. Oakland, the Raiders left. San Diego, because the Chargers left. Alabama, they don't have a professional football team. Arkansas, Portland, Oregon, up in Oregon, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa. We are in North Carolina, but we're in Durham, Raleigh-Durham, which is a great large market. So that one's representing the state of North Carolina. South Carolina, and Charleston, West Virginia. So if you'll notice, but I will say this, Sean, watching the past couple weekends NFL, there are so many penalties, and God, they're going overboard as far as protecting the players, man. You need to be protected, as I've said a billion times, by your teammates, not flags and penalties. So we're not, CFL, they're up in Canada. College, they play on Saturdays representing their school. Indoor, we have nothing to do with indoor or spring leagues or any of that. So, there's the NFL. That's one league. Major League Football is another. We're filling the void where the NFL doesn't have teams. That's the best way I can phrase it or describe it. So, So guys, I got so many more emails to read. So I'm going to read 2 more. Hello, I'm contacting to see if your organization will have the bandwidth to incorporate and bring the visibility and awareness of bullying in America, in our schools, and on social media. In the 2024 Super Bowl, the NFL announced a bullying organization, CharacterPlaybook.com. They are partnering with to help combat the negative effects of bullying, and thought it would give your organization to do the same. Please feel to visit our website to learn more about us. We are a nonprofit. Teresa, I would love you to be on our show and talk about your organization, because guys, let me tell you, there's something that I do not tolerate and I cannot stand is bullying. And let me tell you, and I don't even like it when, I mean, you can joke, but I don't like it when people even criticize people. You can joke with each other in a nice manner, but one thing I cannot stand is criticism, bullying, making people feel less value or quality or inferior. Life's about building people up, and that's really what our teams are about. We're going to be so involved with the communities, and Teresa, like your organization, to help in any way and every way we can to build people up. So that was a great email, Teresa. So please, I'm going to forward this to my team and then have them reach out to you so that we can set up a time to talk and get you on the show to talk about it. Okay? So, guys, I know I'm killing you here with all these emails. I'm trying to get through them. I'm not going to be able to get through nearly. This is about a position job. So I'm not going to discuss jobs anymore because, again, team at Major League Football. This is from Marquise Williams. I came across Major League Football website doing some research. I want to know more information about this program. I'd like to gain more in-depth information on all sections of Major League Football, corporate, sales, player, how to marketing, and so on. Thank you for your time. I can be reached at my email provided. Marquise, you're a perfect guy. I'd love just to jump on a call with a Zoom or a Microsoft team that we can record for building it because, people want to hear from you. You guys want to hear from players, potential players, coaches, GMs, corporate partners, and I want to get all our corporate partners. And guys, if you own a business, we would love you to be a corporate partner of Major League Football. So please reach out to us. But let me say one last thing, kind of that Marquise made me think of. Guys, there is and I've said this a million times before, but I'm going to say it again. There is this spring league called Major League Football that was out of, ironically, about an hour and a half south of where we are in Tampa. And they were trying to get some spring league going. They left, they kind of deserted or left abandoned some players and coaches in Mobile, Alabama on some tryout. But guys, we have no affiliation or anything to do with that organization. They were illegally using our trademark name, Major League Football. I don't knock them, but we own their name, Major League Football. We are a legitimate professional fall football league kicking off next fall. And guys, that brings me, don't wait to buy tickets. Buy tickets now. Go to majorleaguefootball.pro. If it's in blue, you can buy tickets. Ticket returns working in all of our ticketing now. They're about to complete with Arkansas, but you can buy tickets for a lot of our franchises. Do not wait, okay? And again, guys, we want to invite you onto the show. Okay, Steve Trice always has good emails. Speaking about the Louisville franchise ideal logo name, the most famous ever. I think I read this before about Muhammad Ali. He'd become Louisville Ali's family's name and logo. The design of the logo would be simple. Boxing glove. Guys, I shouldn't be reading it. I should be reading it coherently. Glove on. So speaking about the Louisville franchise ideal logo name, the most famous boxer who ever lived, Muhammad Ali, the last name Ali would become the Louisville Ali's football name and logo. The design for the logo would be simple: a boxing glove, head-on collision with a football helmet, showing the helmet breaking apart with pieces flying in the air. This logo brand would sell out America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Think about the millions of Muslims around the world who would break their neck trying to get merchandise, and the hip hop community around the world because of his name, the capital, from this idea would bring in millions for Major League Football. You would probably have to contact Mr. Lonnie Alley's to work out a percentage to use that name, but it would be worth it. God bless. Stephen, I love the email. Not something we're interested in. Again, guys, we don't want any gimmicks. I'm not saying that's a gimmick, and we don't want to alienate ourselves. That's one thing I push with the United States is we're all in this together, and we don't. As far as like getting a Muslim following, we want everyone to follow football and follow Major League Football. So my fans, I'm going to wrap that up with you have been more than patient on this week's episode of Building It. And we're going to go and just let you hear a conversation with Trey Randall. Again, Trey worked for various different, he worked for the CFL. He's currently with the Toronto Argonauts now, I believe, and also worked with the USFL before they merged with the XFL. And then next week, we'll have more to share with you on next week's episode of Building It. Have a great week. And guys, again, please reach out, and love to have you on the show. And all you people wanting to work with the league, send your resume to team@majorleaguefootball.pro. Even if you want to volunteer and intern and you don't have a resume, put one together. It'll look a lot more professional. It'll be a step in helping you towards building your career as you progress and move forward, whether it be with Major League Football or in another industry. Guys, have a great week, and let's go to the talk with Trey. You guys talk to you soon, and again, thanks for tuning in.
There he is.
How you doing, sir?
Good, Trey. How you doing, man? You hanging in there?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Everything's all right on your end?
Yeah, man, real good. Hey, so let me kind of go back a little bit. If you could kind of tell me about your background, what you've been a part of, and everything, so you can share this with all the fans of Major League Football.
Absolutely. Currently I'm a consultant for the Toronto Argonauts, player personnel consultant. For the last few years, I've been working for the United States Football League as the director of operations, as well as the first year I was there, I was the head of player personnel. I had a wonderful time there at the USFL, got a lot done. Prior to that, I've worked at the Spring League as well for Brian Woods. And prior to that, I worked majority of my career in the Canadian Football League for 3 franchises, actually. So I've sort of been here and there around.
So what about like your involvement with Major League Football? Tell kind of everyone kind of what your thoughts are, what you'd like to be involved, how you could be an asset in it that would help out the league, etc.
I just think operationally, administrative wise, sponsorships, marketing, making fans and everyone aware in different cities. I think this is a big opportunity for this league to get off to a head start. There's always players who are looking to play football. That's never going to end, and there's never going to be a lack of talent around the country. So I think I know Major League Football, it'll be a lasting power and something that fans alike in different cities would be very pleased with product-wise.
So where are you currently living now? Are you in New York or Connecticut?
I'm currently in Houston, Texas. I'll be moving to New Jersey within the next few weeks, actually.
Okay. And then so back to our initial conversation about what you have more of an interest in, like obviously are you still interested in the GM position for New York, / helping with corporate partnerships nationally, or what are your thoughts?
It's more so of vice president operational type deal, league office wise.
Okay,
More so working in the league office than team operations wise.
okay, so let me ask you this. So basically, the GM position you would not have an interest in, is that correct, for New York?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty bold, man. I tell you, I think you're the only one that would turn down a general manager position.
Well,
in this
I'm not
world?
turning it down more so. I just feel like the conversation we had last time, as far as what we could do for a league,
No, I
as
got
a
you. You,
overall
yeah.
deal, that really interested me. If that was something you said, hey, I prefer for you to take on this role, then without a doubt, just being a part of the league, I'd like that. But at the same time, I just feel like our last conversation went really well, and there's some things that we can do league wise that I'm interested in.
Well, let me tell you, so I'm going to kind of go back a little bit and kind of touch on what you just said because, obviously there's a handful of like the executive team that want to handle like represent and help the league nationwide. And I'll share this with you. When it comes to like the VP of operations, which is kind of like the number two person for lack of better words, or I mean, I don't like to view it that way, but that it's a full-time gig. So basically, you're working from the time you wake up till you go to bed every day. Now, I will say this, we had someone that was a VP of operations and they started out with an interest in a general manager position. So super, super nice guy, good guy. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I work late. If I'll be texting you at midnight, if I got questions and, I need to hear back from you. Like, this is a lifestyle. This isn't a job or this isn't, it's even more than a career. It's a lifestyle. As you know, you've been in it. So I
Absolutely.
said to him, like, so our communication broke down early because I texted him and I wouldn't hear back for a couple of days. So we kind of had a difference of opinions, kind of like put our differences aside and started back, kind of got off on a better, more level playing field with a better understanding of really not what I require as the commissioner, but what the league requires to make sure we can, we're kicking off next fall. So going back, and then the second time, I didn't hear back from him for like 2 or 3 days, and man, we're all busy. I mean, that's like when we all got issues, we all got emergencies. So that's why with you, Trey, that what's very important that I've learned, and this is from even my former business experience didn't help me with this, is that I need to see how the relationship goes with like me and everyone that I work with, me and you, me and Tyler, me and Eric. So the list goes on. So let's go back on that note. Let's go back to the national corporate sponsorships because you wanted to talk about that on this call. What have you kind of found out?
I reached out to an apparel company. They work with some actually football leagues. They're looking for new football leagues, and I reached out to their staff, and they said they'd be interested in speaking. I didn't say specifically who I'd be representing. I just wanted to get an idea. Working in the past for different leagues, I didn't work with them, but they did provide certain apparel for us here and there. So that's another opening right there. Not just that, but just sponsorships with hotels in different cities, making them aware of what's going on, pricing, things of that, getting a head step on those types of ventures. I found out in my past that that's a huge deal. Working on those things right now, that's very vital, in
Well,
my opinion.
let me ask you this. Would you have more of an interest of basically running like national corporate partnerships? And I'll tell you this, like the difference is like, as you can imagine, I've talked to a billion people, right? And they like this one gentleman in particular, I'm not going to say his name, but he represented the NFL for two different teams selling corporate partnerships. But with me, like you got to be eye of the tiger, man. You got to be every day, all day. And I don't hear from the guy hardly ever. So it shows me a lack of interest if you're not like all in every day, all day, if that makes sense. And the
Correct.
thing is, like, you got to always be thinking. And so because he and I had talked about, because that's kind of what his interest was, but he has proven otherwise to me that that's not really like, I mean, you got to like full throttle every day. It's not like half throttle, engine's turned off. So having said that with you, Trey, is this something you would want to like start out just like, hey, let me run because there's so much potential partnerships and that's kind of like, we came out of the gate, Major League Football, thinking like everyone was just going to be throwing money at us because we're a new fall football league. And even the gentleman that I just mentioned, and I told you this, I think he said he was even with the Vikings and another organization, and he still had a difficult time scheduling meetings to get in front of people, and he was with an NFL team. So with us, it's business is business, money is money. No one's going to throw money at anyone, and you got to get out there. So what are your thoughts, like kind of narrowing it down more specifically, what you'd want to be a part of now? Because I know you're still consulting with Toronto, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what are your thoughts? What do you want to do? I mean, I know I'm kind of like all over the board with all this, but
Right. No, I would like to be the vice. I know you mentioned, it's 24/7 on the call. That's all I'm used
yeah.
to be honest
And
with you.
Trey, let me just tell you this.
That's what I've
I
been
would
used to
have
last
to
week.
work with you and get to know you before I could offer you that position,
Right.
because I don't know. And that's kind of the mistake. I actually, the former person I just told you, I didn't offer him the position until I met him in person and flying out to where I met him. Um, I've learned that, like, and not just, not you, but anyone, me included, you know, um, what we portray is really what matters, and that's kind of where we are. So for me, I need to work with someone first and see like how the relationship is.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So I'd rather you like, that kind of that position is kind of on hold, for lack of better words, because I mean, everyone. I mean, look at the coaching staff. Look at coaches. I mean, people don't always get along, and also
Right.
they don't always say what they do. I'm not saying that this of you by any chance or stretch or me, but that's kind of the way it rolls. So back to you. So for now, what would you have an interest in doing?
I think that's something we'd have to continue to talk about, honestly. Because operational wise, from a league standpoint, that's what my thought process was. Even if it wasn't an operation, the vice president type deal, if it was just working in that, in that standpoint, that would be wonderful. I'm not looking for a specific title right now, to be completely honest with you. Just really just to get to work and move forward with the league.
Yeah. Well, why don't and let me go back to your apparel. What we're doing, we're offering like if an apparel comes in, like we're selling corporate partnerships now. So we've
Mhm.
already like sold 2 markets already, and they're buying the exclusivity. So for like t-shirts, all that stuff for Arkansas and specific, we've already sold that market. So no one's allowed to sell apparel in there but them. Um, we kind of gave them exclusivity, but that's the first year we got to give more than give them everything, give them the farm, so that they come on board, and then once we prove ourselves, but even that they've earned the first right of refusal for life, so they can never lose the Arkansas apparel market there. So that's like, and as we start selling more and more different markets, these large apparel companies, because everyone's wanting to wait and see what we look like, wait and see what we look like on the field. And, proof of concept. I get it, but at the same time, man, you come on early, it's going to benefit you. Um, so Trey, why don't we do this, man? Why don't you, let's think it through, because I know what you want, and I got to be honest as well. And, it's a huge position that comes with a huge responsibility. But also the relationship is very important on how we all get along. So I don't know how you are to work with, and you don't know how I am to work with.
Right.
Does that make
Absolutely.
sense? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I can be a pain in the ass, which I am. And you know what I mean? And so it goes hand in hand. I feel like I'm easy going, but we got, the clock's ticking. So I want it, most importantly, like I told you before, I want it to work for you and benefit the league are the 2 most important things. That number 2 position is a very vital position. And so I just got to be careful I don't make the same mistake. and offer it to someone that I have no experience working with, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's talk further, or better yet, ponder your more thoughts, give it some more thoughts, and we'll jump on another call when you kind of, I've been working on this league for a lot of years, and I was just on a call or a text going back and forth with Rebecca Kaplan, the vice mayor of Oakland, and she's like, "Have you submitted your proposal?" I'm like, she's asked me this a million times, and I said, I can't get anyone from the organization to call us. So it's just like goes back and forth, and it's so it gets, what's the word I'm looking for? So it gets very frustrating, but you got to have a lot of patience,
Absolutely.
in this case. And you've worked with a lot of these spring leagues, so you've seen the development, the pros, the cons, the successes, the failures, and that's kind of their. Are you still working with USFL at all?
No, not at all. Just
Oh, the
Toronto.
XFL, I mean.
No, just Toronto at the moment.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, Trey, I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Thank you
Till
so
next
much.
time, man. We'll talk soon.
You be safe. Thank you.
You too. See you, man.